Hello guys, this is Darryl with Lee's Lawn Care Services. How y'all doing, man? Happy New Year's to you guys. Just wanted to make a quick video. I'm getting ready to cut some properties. I got quite a few of them today. Go figure that. Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick video, man, and talk to you guys and say, you know what? Happy New Year's. I'm glad that we all made it. Man, I was extremely busy. Last year I picked up so much stuff I had to let some of that stuff go. And so I made a promise to myself that I would never overwhelm myself like that again, because I was doing way more than I should have. And you would think that being a veteran in the field that you would have learned that lesson. And I have learned it before, but I wound up taking on a lot more than I should have. And so I had to drop some customers, quite a few of them, to get down to a manageable number, which for me, I think now I have like 55, which is great. I got all the way up to 96, which was way too many. And then I actually hired help, and you know how that goes. You know, you get complaints, you got to go behind them, fix a lot of problems, things of that nature. So it's, you know, a real tricky situation when you're hiring help and all. So, you know, situation like that. So I had to reconfigure some things, you know, and hey, happy 2025. So I made it a point to fix things the way I wanted them, because it's my business and not anybody else's business. And just my opinion, I wind up straightening things out to where I can get back to managing things again. Those big properties like that, you got to think about it. I had to really evaluate it to the point where to see if it was worth it, like, because yeah, you can charge a good amount for those big properties, but then you got to have at least 2 guys, 3 guys trying to finish them up in a timely manner so that you can get to other things. And if you can't do that, then what's the point? You're actually losing money, because by the time you add up to pay the guy, to pay the insurance, to pay the fuel costs and the equipment costs, the supplies to get out there and do the job, it wasn't much left, put it that way. So I had to really figure that piece of it out, and I did. And I did my estimations for this year, and running with the stuff that I have, I'm gonna make about close to 60 grand. So that's comfortable enough for me. I don't need to go out here and kill myself in the process, you know, trying to make all that money and hiring all these guys. And then once you spit out the supplies, materials, and pay the guys and everything, and then you realize, like, man, there's not much left over, because if you charge too much, then they're gonna drop it. So you got to be reasonable enough to where they will maintain you. And usually what companies do toward the end of the year, they reevaluate everything to see if they can get a better deal. You know, so if you were slightly out of that price range, then you're gonna be gone, you know, because they'll get somebody else to do it. And all they have to do is have the insurance and have, you know, certain other little requirements, you know, and that's it. You know, they typically get the job, and then you SOL, so to speak. So yeah, man, had to do some reevaluating. Had to cut back on a lot of stuff, and I feel good about it. And so this is the first day of this year, so I'm starting it out the right way. I got a few to do. I got a bird sitting there looking at me. He must like my energy. But yeah, he's sitting there just looking. You probably won't be able to see him. He's right there. I see him. He's sitting on the gutter, and he's just looking. And he ain't moved. He's comfortable. So yeah, I had to reevaluate some stuff. I had to reevaluate the business. Doing way too much. So I had to get back to where I'm comfortable. Like, I don't mind running around, but I don't have to run around like that. So I'm not gonna put myself through that torture like that. So yeah, but last year I was doing videos, I was doing great, and I started doing more than I should have. Like I was just taking on, and I was being very selective about what I was taking on. So I was taking on some quality stuff, but at the same time, it still was, the count was mounting up. So the count got to the point to where I was like, I couldn't make the rounds, like the rotation, like I wanted to, and the other guy that was out, a couple other guys that was out that was working, I was getting complaints on them because they wasn't doing it the way I do it. So I had to go back and had to fix some of the issues that they were doing. And there was a couple places they got through where it was no issues, but some customers I have are very, very particular about how they want certain things done. And I had to go back and correct it. And then some of them I had to, sometimes you had to give a refund, and that's just money out of my pocket. So, it's just things to take into consideration. And then some things I gave up, some other people took it, and, they're doing some things and they got, a bigger fleet than me. And I'm quite happy with that, because I've had friends with bigger fleets and I've seen them get into a bind, and I don't want to fall into that category, but it's part of business. It's how you learn, and it's how you learn how you get better, when it comes to stuff like that. You can't get better unless you go through something. So once you're going through something, you're learning that experience, then you're figuring out, hey, well, I need not to do this, or I need not to do that, so that's kind of how it is. So today, everybody is still sleeping. They got fireworks all over the street. Got firework papers all over the yards, and I got to come out here and clean this up, and make my living like I normally do. I will say that last year was a very busy year for me. It was, every year's busy, but some of them are like just over the top. So last year was definitely one of those type of years. I know we made a good bit of profit last year. I don't know the exact numbers yet. I got to go and I printed out all the things, but it was like, it was the day before. I didn't do it last night. I printed out everything night before last, and I was falling asleep and I was printing everything out. And then I had some of you that have software systems know what I'm talking about. You have to, after you print everything out, then you delete the batch so you can start the next year. So I printed everything out, and then I went in, I did my estimation for this year, and I did my profit and losses, so that type of thing. But I didn't get down in detail to where I look at opportunities where either I gained opportunity or I missed opportunity. And a lot of times I'll tell you, you're going to miss more opportunity than you're going to gain when it comes to certain things. It's going to be, say for instance, I'll give you an example, like in my opinion, you take a customer, okay? And that one customer, say they get cut, say bi-weekly or say bi-weekly is usually 26 weeks for the year. And then if you want to go every week, then that's usually 40, I think it's like 42 weeks, something like that. It's like 42 weeks for me. I don't know how you guys operate, but for me, like 42 weeks is a full season of weekly cuts for one particular customer. And if I'm doing bi-weekly for another customer, it's just like 26 weeks. And if you charging, so like 35 or 40 bucks for that cut, and you multiply that out times those 26 weeks, and it'll give you a total. And that's what you should take off that customer. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. So that's kind of how I do mine. So I have an idea of how much I would receive off of each customer, or I should receive in that area. And I had more minuses than pluses. So which meant that I was trying to make up that difference doing other things, doing other customers and new customers coming in and not completing a rotation to my old customers. So that's kind of how I do stuff. And so I had more losses as far as that go, because I didn't make the rotation enough to have the customer up to a certain point where I was supposed to take X amount of dollars, and I didn't get that. I was missing it by like $300-400 off of certain customers, when I could have gotten that very easily had I just made the regular rounds and had the normal amount of customers. I would have still been just as profitable. So I know that sounds kind of technical, but that's kind of how I get into my business, and I figure out, what the pros and cons are and where the wins and losses are, and then, this year going forward, you have to bring your customers up to speed. So I'm starting the year off right. A lot of this stuff in January and February for me is lanyard, because it's supposed to be once a month, but I'm doing some of these customers, I'm still doing them weekly. They still want it cleaned up weekly, and then some other customers are once a month. Some of the other customers are bi-weekly, still cleaning them up, regardless of what they look like. So I'm still getting income from them, regardless. I did do a couple garden jobs already. I was supposed to do a pressure washing job, but he's not quite ready for that yet. So when he's ready, that's scheduled. But excuse me, like I told him, he got to get it early, because if he waits till after February, I'm not going to be able to do it, because I'm going to be in regular rotation. I'm not going to have the time to set aside to do something like that. So guys, I love you. Hopefully we can start this 2025 off on a high note, going in the right direction. And, you guys that welcome extra business here, welcome it. I'm going to tell you a couple of things that I suggest you do. You got bi-weekly customers, try to get them on a 10-day schedule so you can make some more money. You can do more with less. I hear that from Big Sons. He says that all the time. You can do more with less. So like I said, I got up to 96 and it was just too much. I'm back down to like 55. And that's a comfortable number for me where I can manage, and then I still have home life. You have your home life, and you have to be there as well, so you had to make more time for that. I mean, I was like 1 day off, working 6 days a week, and it took a toll. So now it's like I got 2 days off, and I'm working 5 days a week, and I'm still making around the same amount of money. So that's nice. All right, guys, catch you on the next one. Happy 2025. Peace out.